Hi guys, I'm Maddie, I'm 22 and I started this YouTube channel almost 10 years ago. I did it because I wanted a creative outlet. I was looking at YouTubers, Bethany Mota, Babe09. Everyone had those usernames where it was like a number at the end, and so obviously I chose a similar one. For the first few years, the YouTube channel was really just my creative outlet, something that I had fun doing outside of school, so it would be something that I did when I was bored on the weekend. And really, I just fell in love with video making as a hobby. Around 2016, I had a few videos really blow up. This was the clean my room DIY era, and I think this is the time that a lot of you got to know me. I was a 16-year-old, slightly chaotic, DIY loving Norwegian girl who also had a very American accent, which I've now shed off into this weird mix that I don't know what is. You tell me. A lot of people think it's Irish, it's not, but it's definitely been a good few years since I was 16 in 2016. I still get ID'd to buy paracetamol, however, so maybe I still look 16, but I'm not, I promise. I've graduated from high school, I moved to London, I started a bachelor in business management, moved around a bit, it was COVID, it was stressful, I got a boyfriend, I moved in with my boyfriend, I graduated from uni, and currently I'm trying to figure out what to do with my graduate life, and I'm also doing social media full time. So the point of this video is we're gonna do a long-awaited Q&A, a updated who am I, what's going on. I haven't done a proper Q&A in such a long time where I basically just start from zero and I tell you guys everything you need to know. So this is the video for everyone who's followed me for a while who need that updated. This is Maddie, this is the current situation. Also, this is the video for everyone who just recently found me, either through my shorts or my small living series, or maybe you came from another social media platform that I have. So without further ado, welcome to my living room and let's get into the video. Where does the name Macerly come from? If you want to understand why I have that username, you also have to understand the time period that I started this channel in. It was 2013 and everyone that I looked up to on YouTube and that I was following, and the reason I created this channel in the first place, was called a username. So the natural thing for me to do was create a username as well. So I put the first two letters of my name, which is Maddie, and I put MA. I was like, what should I do with the rest of the name? And I was wearing this anchor on my t-shirt that day, Anchorly, and then I was like, man, I can't have man in my name because it's a girl channel, right? This was 13-year-old Maddie thought process. So I removed the N and it became Macerly, and that's how the name was created. It was initially macerly09, but after people started changing their names, Mac Barbie 07 became Bethany Mota, Babe09 became Meredith Foster. I also changed my name to just be Macerly instead of Macerly09, and that's where we are today. And I actually really love the name Macerly. It's really become part of my identity in a way. And then when people come up to me and say, are you Macerly? I feel like it's like my internet personality, if that makes sense. I know a lot of people today just choose their own name to be their username, but I kind of love that I decided to stick to that and not change it because it's such a unique name and it's so short and so catchy that, yeah, I'm very happy that I kept it. What did you study and where? I did a Bachelor's of Science in Business Management at King's College London. It was a 3-year bachelor, and I basically in the first year had a lot of modules of everything you can imagine in terms of business, accounting, marketing, sociology. And in the second and third year, I specialized into the things that I found really interesting. Some of my modules then became consumer marketing, consumer behavior, business relationships China, business and history in China, consumer behavior. Did I already say that? I don't know. I really liked my degree. I really enjoyed studying and I'm super happy I did it. What is your MBTI? I love this question because I always like to ask people this because you can really tell kind of their personality based on their MBTI. I am ENTJ, which is the commander. It's been a little time since I took this quiz. I think the last time was when I just started uni. So I kind of want to see how it's changed, if there's any of the levels that have kind of been altered after I became more of an adult. Where am I from? I was born in Oslo, which is the capital of Norway, so I'm Norwegian. Fun fact, I'm also 10% Finnish on my dad's side. I decided to move to London when I was 18 to do my bachelor's. I was in between a few countries, maybe America, maybe France, maybe the UK, but I ended up in London for a few reasons. It had really good schools that I actually really liked when I came to visit. I actually have family living here, so that made the whole process of moving and also dealing with COVID a lot easier. And the price wasn't that bad. I'm European, European, I get a loan and a scholarship from the Norwegian state. And I remember I was looking at the New York universities that I was kind of interested in, and the fees for like $70,000 a year. And I was like, what? How am I gonna afford that? And it's a 4-year degree. Like, I'm gonna be indebted with like 200,000 at the end of my degree. So didn't choose that. I'm also so happy I ended up in London because it's so close to home, which has been really, really useful while COVID has happened. And also when I was in a long distance relationship with my boyfriend, it was really easy for us to visit each other. And the reason I've stayed is really because I just fell in love with the city. I have all my friends here and almost none of them decided to move away after uni. So we all still have that network of friends, network of people that are still here. And yeah, it's a really good time. And following on to that, the next question is, do you see yourself living in London in 10 years? I definitely don't see myself not living here. I'll say that. It's hard to know, obviously, like what the future will hold. For example, in COVID, I was literally debating so hard on going home to Norway and never coming back because I just got so fed up with everything in terms of restrictions and lockdown. But now I feel like I've really settled. I really have my network. My boyfriend is living here. He's working, I'm working. I've really settled in terms of my work, doing social media. I have a whole network here now of people that I know, business contacts, emails, whatever. And so it obviously makes it a lot harder to move back to Norway. So I don't really see me moving back to Norway, at least in the next like 5 years, for example. As I said, it's very, very hard to know. When I was younger, I always wanted to spend my 20s living abroad. I talked in the shorts about me wanting to live in different cities, but I'm also very okay with just spending that time in one city as long as it's abroad. Because I think your 20s, before you get kids, before you start your family, before your parents get old, it's good to have that time where you're in another country, you're exploring, you're traveling. You're spending your 20s being young and free. And I love the idea of being in a big city because a big city just has so many opportunities that a small city like Oslo don't have. Although I love Oslo, I was born there, I was raised there. London just have so many more opportunities. There's twice as many people in London as there are in the whole country of Norway. So the short answer is no, but also we'll see. How did you and Theo meet? So Theo is my boyfriend and we currently live together in this flat. And I'll quickly run through how we met. Me and Theo went to middle school together in Oslo. He was a year older and I definitely knew of him, but I don't think I'd talked to him. It was a really small school and so we'd constantly kind of interact with each other and we'd see each other in the little like leaflet where you had all the people who went to that school. And then 5 years passed, I think. 5 years. And I was living in London, he was living in Oslo. COVID happened. I flew home super scared. My friend thought she had COVID, so I thought I had COVID. Theo was going home from Amsterdam. We arrived in Oslo airport at the exact same day, at the exact same time. This was the middle of March, and so every country was super scared of COVID, and so everyone had to quarantine. And so we both immediately went home. I was quarantining in my room, getting food at the door. He was quarantining in his room. And what happened next was that I texted him on social media. It was fun because we were both in this situation. We were both quarantined, having gone home on the same day. And so we started texting back and forth, and that conversation just like never ended. And we kept talking until May. We had our first date together, which was a coffee and a little walk around the park. And then I think the rest is history. The next question is, why did you decide to move in together? What was the reason you decided to take that step? So there's a few reasons me and Theo decided it was time to move in together. We had both been dating for over 2 years at this point, so we felt really, really comfortable in the relationship. It had been really stable. There was never any big fights, nothing. It kind of felt like it was a good way to end the era of university by moving in together and starting a new era of working. Also, there's the fact that we happen to live in the 4th most expensive city to rent in the world. So because we both wanted to move out of our current situations with living with friends or living in dorms, the result would probably be that we'd either have to live super, super far away from each other and downgrade in terms of the standard that we'd be getting if you rented alone, or move in together and split the rent and bills between us and actually live in a very nice standard flat. Now, it's been 6 months since we moved in together. We're super happy. We're already thinking about prolonging the lease because we love it here. I've got a few questions about my body and my looks. I'm just going to combine them all together and do a quick little rundown. My height is 172 centimeters. I have green eyes, although some people think they're blue. They're very, very light and kind of a mix between green and blue, so they're not really like one color, but it says green in my passport, so that's what we're gonna say. My hair color is a platinum blonde, but my like true hair color, if you can see here, is a darker blonde. I do highlights to get it back to this color about every 2 months, and the reason I do it is because I was always platinum blonde as a child up until I turned 13, 14. When my hair started to get getting darker with puberty, I realized that my features kind of vanished because they're really, really light. I have quite light eyebrows and quite light eyes. How do you feel you've changed from 5 years ago when you were in your clean your room era? Oh my god. A lot. I definitely feel I've become a little bit more calm. As you age, you become less like restless, crazy. I was just constantly trying to do as much as possible all the time. Scream to the camera. That's the first thing you'll see if you watch these older videos. It's very chaotic, very fast-paced, very colorful. I definitely feel like I've become more calmer in the way that I talk. I've become more relaxed. I think the biggest change in my life since 16 has been moving abroad. You learn so much when you're completely on your own. So moving to London and just having to figure everything out in this city with 11 million people, having to deal with difficult situations, with getting a bank, getting friends, finding people to trust. I think it really made me more mature, more confident in myself, that I could do stuff on my own and just really like grow up my whole personality. I also think I've really found my way much more because you can do that when you don't live in the context of your family anymore. When you live by yourself, no one else is deciding what you should do or what you can do. A good way to look at it is that when you're young, you think that like, oh, when you don't live with your parents, you can do whatever you want to do. You could go out every night, you could eat whatever shit you want. However, when I actually live by myself, I realized that, yeah, although I can't do all these things, it's much more important to me to get that workout in and feel good about myself and have a healthy work-life balance where I go out and have fun some nights. On other nights, I love to stay in because I want that productive early morning. And speaking of routines, what is your current day-to-day like after uni? This is a very good question, and the honest answer is that it's very different from day to day. I do social media full-time now, meaning that the majority of my days are either spent creating content, planning content, editing content, or doing all the admin work that goes beyond what you always see in these videos. A lot of emails, a lot of back and forth, a lot of writing, a lot of me being on my phone and researching. And outside of that, there's all those special projects and special events. And there's also the occasional big project like the documentary I just did. Do you have any siblings? Yes, I do. I have 3 siblings. I have a half brother that's 8 years older than me. I have a younger brother that's 8 years younger than me. And I have a little sister that's 16 years younger than me. So we're a big family, and the age gap between my youngest sibling and my oldest sibling is 24 years, which is kind of crazy. And yeah, that was the final question. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I feel like it's been very good to catch up. I'm very happy we did this. This video was actually requested by one of you guys in the comments. So I do really look through all your comments, read them, heart them, and take into consideration the requests you put out. So if there's any other videos you want to see in the future, make sure to put them in the comment section below. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!